Welcome to Book Talks, from books to Botox and everything in between. We hope you enjoy. We're just girls. Oh, my esthetician does my Botox.
And then Jenny's forcing me to read a book.
Yeah. We have something to redact. Love you guys.
We're on. We're live.
Hi, everybody. Hello.
Welcome to Book Talk.
Welcome to Book
back.
Talks. I was honestly so excited to come record just so we could all chat.
I know.
The three of us don't get to sit down and talk.
I know. We're all like, go, go, go.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially about all these fun topics and
I
not just
know.
boring work things. Back at the lobby of MD Beauty Club.
Back at
We're coming to you on a Thursday night.
our second home.
Yeah, literally our second home.
Our
Yeah.
second home, yes. We're going to jump right in.
Yeah.
We have something to redact. So, as many of you have probably seen on social media this week, the Colleen Hoover It Ends With Us trailer came out.
Yeah.
It's so I like it. It's
I
so good.
love it.
I love it.
I
Yeah.
was immediately shocked at how much I loved it.
Yeah.
I do feel like everybody judged off those first photos of set and how they were dressed and all the things, and I think things look different behind the scenes of movies, and when it's
Than
put
when they're
together
actually produced, yeah.
and produced into a trailer, it looks way more.
So much better.
Right?
Like, Blake is wearing a wig, which in some scenes are really, it's a bad wig.
Icky.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
It's a little bad. But other than that, I was jaw on the floor, mark it on my calendar. I have to see this movie.
Yeah.
I'm so excited now.
Was it the editing or was it the Taylor Swift music?
I will say
D, all of the above.
I don't know if it's just that song that makes
Yeah.
me I don't know. I just am obsessed.
I think it's the editing too. It was really edited to be so dramatic. I will stand by what Carly said last week, though. I still don't like Blake Lively as Lily.
I don't
see
either.
it. I don't see it.
It's growing on me.
Really?
But I'm
proud of
such a pushover. I'll change my opinion about anything, anytime.
I feel like Lily, there's a fan cast on TikTok of a redheaded girl who was very pale skinned, and that reminds me more of
I think
Lily.
I pictured her a little more lithe. Is that a
Yeah.
word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
a
I
little
could
bit
see
more
that.
innocent looking.
Yeah. And a little more frail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blake seems pretty tough.
Yeah.
Think of her in Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants when she
Yeah.
was kind of the sporty go-getter girl.
No, I
she
agree
does
with
seem
that.
tough. I agree with that.
And
That's
there's
what
that
it is.
scene in the trailer where she's like, well, you're not a customer yet. You need to buy something, which I didn't feel
Yeah.
very, I don't know. I feel like
Yeah.
not fluffy, not light like you would have pictured Lily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it did come together good, and I think that everybody's kind of eating their words.
I think we all are. Also, it made me want to go back and reread those books.
I think we
know.
should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should too.
Yeah, should we do it before the movie comes?
Yeah,
When does
and
the
then we
movie
should
come
go.
out? It keeps
August.
August. Okay,
It was
keeps
February, then June.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm confused.
I think we should reread all the books and then go watch the movies together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Let's
that's
see
a
what
good
it is.
idea.
I think we have to.
On another note,
Yes.
Leading into Taylor, well, we can't not talk about
Yeah,
Taylor.
yeah.
We said
Yeah.
we weren't going to talk about Taylor Swift.
We'll be so quick.
Yeah.
Just
we are
one-
going to talk
one
about
little
Taylor
part.
Swift.
the Lake Como,
The Lake Como photos.
people say that they got engaged.
You
No,
think?
there's no way.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I just can't imagine them hiding it from their families that
Yeah.
way.
You know what's really embarrassing? Not for them, but there's a photo of them eating at a hotel or a private
is so
property.
And
And someone took a photo of them, and I'm so embarrassed that someone was actually hiding in the bush and taking photos of them. That
Yeah.
is
That's her
embarrassing.
life.
That's her life, though.
Yeah.
Remember when they
Like-
went to the zoo? I think it was in Australia.
was
There was
so many-
people in trees.
It's so embarrassing.
so odd.
It's just
Can you
leave her
imagine?
alone. Let her.
I thought her trench coat was fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes Taylor to me dresses so well, and sometimes I'm like, who on earth is
Dress
dressing
you.
you?
Who
Yeah.
let you wear that?
Have you seen the Instagram of it's a page that's called If I Could Dress Taylor Swift?
No.
Wait, I need to look this
It's
up.
so funny.
I need to
And
see.
it's an Instagram that's I wish I could style Taylor Swift because she dresses sometimes so bad.
I agree. I actually agree with that.
Yeah, and
Like-
I thought the trench was really good.
Who's her stylist?
I don't know if she has one. I think she just gets dressed in whatever
I
she
love that.
wants.
She just wakes up and wears her feelings.
I love
Oh,
that there's
no.
a page. love
There
it.
is. I don't know exactly
We'll
what
have
it's
to look
called.
it up. That is so
I tried to
funny.
look it up, but Meta AI on Instagram is
I
the
hate
death of
Meta.
me.
I just responded to them today and said,
I
hate
saw
you.
your hate conversation with
I
Meta.
can't.
I'm like, why are you going at Meta on DMs?
Jenny's arguing with a robot.
No, off the club page. I was like, I hate you. Please stop. That's what I said.
They're annoying.
So what do you think happened? Like, they just had a romantic
Yeah,
outing?
I think he
Yeah.
was just over there, and I think they just like really. It looks like they really enjoy each other's company.
This is
so
what she's been
sweet.
waiting for. He
Yeah.
is the man of her dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like,
You know?
Yeah. I don't think they got engaged, though. I've heard a lot of those rumors. I just don't. I think we'll know. I don't think she'll hide that from us.
Or we
I'm
won't
acting like
know
we're her
at
family.
all, and it'll be completely undercover.
yeah,
You know?
yeah, I could see that because there's those theories. Like, there's a ton of fan theories that think she got married to Joe.
Yeah.
But
Because of that video of her singing Champagne Problems in the wedding dress. Remember
Yeah.
that?
I don't know.
I don't know if she
So-
would share it with us. I don't know.
I mean, and it wouldn't be on any legal documents in the U.S. if they did it over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like they could have.
Not to be biased,
Yeah.
but it's a beautiful place to get married.
it really is.
Yes, I know. I have. If you haven't tuned in yet and heard, Ashley's getting married in Lake Como in like 5 minutes.
102 days.
So excited.
I
No.
could throw up.
You were almost at 2-digit numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it's nauseating. I can't think
That
about
is
it.
so crazy.
Wild.
Absolutely crazy.
Well, Como, I think, is on a lot of our bucket list.
Yeah,
so
it really
we're
is.
just
Yeah.
chasing
So gorgeous.
Ash and Taylor.
Yeah.
I just want to be Taylor.
You are way cooler than Taylor. I wish. Okay, what else did we want to talk
But-
about celeb stuff? Anything else?
I mean, speaking of marriage, Ben Affleck and Jen.
Oh, yeah, marriage.
Yes.
What did you guys think of when they got together in the first place?
I really didn't like it because I'm team Jennifer Garner.
Oh, I love
She
Jennifer
can do
Garner.
no wrong. Like, I think he's the problem. No, honestly.
Well, like, have you ever seen him? Like,
Yeah.
clearly he has problems.
He's the
Yeah.
problem. Like, do you guys not agree?
I kind of like him with J-Lo.
What?
I feel
Yeah.
like they're equally cringy.
I
Does
think they're-
J-Lo not give you, like,
Oh,
kind
the
of like...
biggest chuggy ick cringe
But, like,
every word. Yeah.
didn't he already
All of it.
cheat on Jennifer Garner with J-Lo before?
Yeah, but I also feel like J-Lo is so toxic and
Yeah,
narcissistic.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm just like,
They
put them
match each
together.
other. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think she really went downhill for me after the olive oil comments.
Yeah.
I don't know that. What-
So she like was interviewed for a magazine and they were like, "You look so good still. Like, what do you do for your skin?" And she was like, "I just use olive oil."
I
everybody's
die.
just literally
Her
quiet.
injector, her surgeon, her
Everybody.
esthetician are all just staring at the screen like,
Yeah.
what did you just say?
I want to know how much they got paid to sign an NDA.
Yeah, seriously.
That is wild that she said that.
Isn't that
Wild,
crazy?
right? I mean,
That's
like I
so
get
crazy.
genetics and
Yeah.
I get that she
Yeah.
has like Hispanic,
Yeah.
you know, heritage or whatever, but
Genes.
Yeah.
genes exactly. Her genetics are doing her a solid.
Yeah.
You're not using olive oil though. Girl.
No.
That is so crazy.
Not at
I don't know.
all.
I've never been a J-Lo fan. Like, I don't know what it is. I know.
Yeah. She's never like, I've never had an opinion on her, but lately with the whole 2 movie thing, and did you guys hear about that?
No.
Oh my gosh, she has 2 movies out right now.
Yeah.
One she like tried to get funding for, but no one would produce this movie, so
Yeah.
she self-funded it. Like, I'm pretty sure, don't quote me, like $200 million.
Yikes.
The movie's awful.
Oh my gosh.
Awful. Like the biggest flop of history.
Wait,
And then
what
she
is
put
it?
out another documentary. So the movie is like a musical about
Yeah.
her life. And then she made a documentary years ago that was like, This Is Me or something like that. And then she made a documentary now called This Is Me Now. It's like
What?
an
Oh my
update. Like she's
I
just
can't. I feel like
I
she's-
wish
yeah.
I liked myself as much as JLo likes
Seriously.
herself.
I know,
I
but
would die for that
I'm not
confidence.
surprised they're divorcing. I'm just not.
I don't
Well,
think they are.
I don't
Really?
know. There's like all this back and forth.
yeah. I
That
don't
is
think they
so
are.
weird. I don't know. I'm a team Jennifer Garner stan. I love her.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean they both have been out with like their wedding rings on, but then like I saw Dumois post something about how like someone who lives in her building like knows for sure they're not living together.
Crazy.
So
Ooh.
like
I saw some
Who
paparazzi
knows?
picture of him like picking up a kid from school and he didn't have his wedding ring on. And I was like, I went to
Sometimes I forget
Pilates this
mine.
morning and I
Yeah.
didn't have mine
Yeah.
on either.
Sometimes
so
I
it's
forget
not a
mine.
tell.
it's not a tell.
It
No.
really isn't.
I agree.
what else was I gonna say though? There was another pop culture thing, you guys.
Bella
that is-
Hadid.
well, yes. So Bella, we know, is the queen.
She looked so
of
good at
Cannes.
Cannes. Like,
Stunning.
amazing.
She's like one of the most beautiful people, I think.
Yeah.
She
I
really
want to
is.
know more about her romance with the bull rider. You guys have heard about that,
I
right?
haven't heard it.
So she was like dating some bull rider at some point, and like the photos on Instagram were everywhere, but I haven't gotten the full deep dive on that yet.
Her outfit was so good.
It was. She looked stunning.
Hashtag-
I mean, she always looks stunning. She has
free the nips.
Nips are out.
hashtag free the nips. I've always said this, and I'll stand by this. Nipples are a great accessory.
And her boobs are nice, so it's like, I don't know. Like, do you, girl?
I
Because
felt like I was at Moulin Rouge all over again.
I could
I think
personally
it's
never,
her
but
and
she looks
Florence
so good.
Pugh that both can just do it and
Yes.
like not bat an eye at it.
Why
love
does she look
Florence.
so?
She's
She
stunning.
looks so good, like an angel.
Yeah, she is so beautiful. I mean, like her and Gigi and Yolanda. You're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what happened to the other gene pools in the
Yeah.
world?
Yeah.
They just have like that natural beauty.
Yeah, they really do.
I just saw two things I saw on TikTok. This really funny TikTok that girl was like, I went to get Botox and I got home and my boyfriend was like, see, I told you, like, you look so natural. You look horrible. Like the Botox ruined your face. It was like the night she got Botox.
So it hadn't kicked in yet.
So like speaking of natural, like nobody knows what natural is nowadays.
No one
No.
knows
Yeah.
what natural is.
And the other thing was the Bethany Frankel thing.
Yes.
So freaking.
I don't know this story.
Okay.
So I saw it on TikTok yesterday, and it's par for the course, truthfully. But Bethany Frankel went to Chanel in Chicago, I think it was.
Yeah.
And she's a huge luxury shopper, like has a great collection, whatever. But she looked like normal clothes, scrubs. I don't think she had makeup on. She was like, oh, I'm just in the neighborhood. I'm going to stop by Chanel. And they like cracked open the door and were like, can I help you? And she was like, yeah, I just want to like browse and see if I want to buy anything. And they're like, do you have an appointment? And then she's like, no, I just want to shop. And they're like, we don't have any appointments available today. And like close the door in her face. And she's
Did
like,
they not know that who she was?
yeah. And then she was like, okay, I'm going to do an experiment. Next day she goes back wearing full Chanel, done up to the nines, looked stunning, walked right in.
It's so crazy.
No way.
Yeah.
Because like, do you need an appointment to go to Chanel? There's absolutely no way.
No, not
in Europe.
No.
They're like a convenience store.
Yeah.
Her video was so funny because she's like, oh, I guess I now need an appointment for my pap smear and
Yeah.
to go shop at Chanel.
Yeah, like
She's like
It's crazy.
She's like very vocal
Yeah.
on social
No,
media
she
though,
is.
these days.
And she
Like,
was going
yeah.
hard at Chanel.
Yep.
And I was like looking in the comments for Chanel's response.
And did
Ooh,
they
I
say
haven't looked
anything?
yet.
There has been no response, but I feel like they should, their PR team should get on that because it just looks so, I don't know, it's just so wild. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like luxury shopping is just getting so out of hand. And I know we talked about it last episode,
Yeah. Mhm.
but like, people are trying to spend their money. Like, why aren't you
Yeah,
taking
see,
it?
that's the thing is like they say it's a quality control. They're like, we only want like
Yeah.
affluent people to have these luxury items. But if the people have the money to buy there, who cares what they're wearing?
Yes, exactly.
Let
Yeah.
me roll up in my leggings,
Yes.
and buy a Chanel purse if I want to.
Exactly.
You know?
But she
Yeah,
got all
no, for
dressed
sure.
up and she walked in and then walked right out.
Yeah, she literally walked in and was like,
Flipped them all the bird and was like, "See ya."
literally.
And walked
Like,
out.
it's so crazy.
Yeah, she didn't buy anything.
Wild.
I know, you'll have to
Wild.
look that up. It's great.
yeah, it
You
was
know
good.
what? Celebs are just feeding us our content because there's like not great TV right now. And
Yeah.
I just
Yes.
feel like we're thriving on the internet.
We really are.
I am chronically online. I need to
mean,
get off.
I know.
I think there's Bridgerton. We're going to talk about that in our
We'll
last
talk about
episode, but
Bridgerton,
let's
circle
books,
back.
but yes, there has been decent
Yeah,
TV.
yeah.
Also, really quickly, do either of you guys follow Bachelor Nation very well?
Not really.
Okay, then we can skip
Wait,
it.
what
But
is it?
anyway,
Just say
there's
it, though, 'cause I-
the OG Bachelor Ryan Sutter. Have you heard about this at all?
No.
Anyway, his wife Trista, like he's been posting all these really cryptic posts about her like being missing, and everyone's like, "Where is she?
What?
Like, is she in rehab or are they getting divorced?" Like, anyway, so if you're like an OG Bachelor fan, which this makes me feel like a old person, but we like so anyway. Bachelor Nation's like, where is this wife?
So
Yeah.
where is she?
We don't know.
Weird.
So weird. I don't know.
So
It's so weird.
freaking weird.
Celebrities are
That's
so
so
weird.
sketch.
I
Oh
know.
my gosh.
Speaking of
crazy.
TV, did you guys watch A Simple Favor? It's a movie on Netflix.
Yeah.
No.
It was so
Blake
good
Lively,
with
right?
Blake Lively.
Yeah,
I think
where-
that made me like.
Is it where
Blake
she goes
Lively
missing?
more?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. It's
It
the
was
best.
so good.
We'll
You
have
should
to
watch it.
It's
It
so
was
good.
really
Yeah.
good.
It made me think of though. Same with this though. Is the whole Kate Middleton thing.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. Like like
Yeah.
poor Kate Middleton's sick,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but for a really long time, everyone was like, well, "Where is Kate Middleton?" Like
Yeah.
they didn't release any press, and when we were over, and then they released that like press video of her where she's like sitting in like a park bench, and she's
Yeah.
like, "I want you all to know, like I have cancer." Like it's really
Yeah.
sad, but it looked really staged.
Yeah.
Like It was kind of a weird
People
video.
thought it was AI.
It felt a little AI. So when I was over there, because our bike rider was like our bike tour guide was giving us all the tea. I'm like, so what do you think's going on with Kate Middleton?
Yeah.
He was like, honestly, you probably know more than me. He's like, they regulate press here about the royal family, like locked down. Like if anyone releases any information, they'll like come after you and throw you in jail. So he's like, I get more tea from the Americans that come over than like anyone else because your guys' press is way more willy-nilly.
That's crazy.
so
Wild,
scary.
right? They're like,
Yeah.
if it doesn't come from the royal family, you're not hearing about it.
That's so scary.
So they're like,
so
we have no
scary.
idea
Yeah.
like what's going on. We don't know how the king is doing. We don't know how like Kate is doing. So anyway, all these weird things.
That's
Yeah.
so crazy. Oh my gosh.
so
Spooky
wild.
vibes.
Spooky vibes. Okay, we can
Well,
move on. That was a lot of pop
going
culture.
Into our aesthetic section.
Oh, I know. We were going to talk about this today.
Yeah.
Scope of practice.
Yeah, because I think there's so much confusion around it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Ash, why don't you start with like what estheticians do typically?
Yeah. So, esthetician, it's going to vary from where you live. We've talked on that briefly. Like each state has a different governing board that allows you to do
Yeah.
what you can do as an esthetician. Overall, we work within skincare. So we're working on the health and appearance of your skin. So that'll differ from nurses. Obviously, you're doing injectables and actually treating underlying causes of things. Whereas we go from a skin care and skin treatment approach. I also do lasers. So that includes doing resurfacing lasers or IPL to get rid of pigment or redness in the skin. But everything that an esthetician does, at least in Arizona, comes from a skin surface level.
On the outside.
On the outside approach.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where I feel like there's so much confusion that like people are like, oh, my esthetician does my Botox. And you're like, not typically.
Not
so
here.
there is different regulations state by state, but wouldn't you say the majority of states estheticians cannot inject?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the only states I have heard that you can inject as an esthetician, or you don't even have to be an esthetician, you can be a barista and inject, is Texas.
Yeah.
There's
Everybody's
no training.
injecting in
You could
Texas.
Literally anybody could inject. And obviously London doesn't have a lot, like out of country, doesn't have a lot of regulations also. I have heard that there's even stricter regulations in Arizona where you can be, like in California, you can be a nurse and inject, but a nurse practitioner or an MD or a surgeon has to be in the facility, like
In the building.
Yes, in the building to inject.
In
Yeah.
Utah, they have to have seen the patient.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like
So-
the medical director has to see and write the orders.
Yeah. So nurses, basically what we do is we can do Botox, fillers. Our scope of practice is a little bit more wide than estheticians, but it only goes as far as like, fillers, Sculptra,
Yeah.
PRP, anything injectable really.
Yeah.
IVs.
The reason that so if you look at the tiers, right? So like your top tier is going to be like your medical director and your nurse practitioner. That's the highest
Yeah.
amount of education. They are able to write prescriptions for things. So the reason that directors or medical directors exist or nurse practitioners is as a nurse, we cannot write prescriptions
Yeah,
for
we
patients.
can't.
Right.
Yeah.
And everything we inject, so when someone goes and gets Botox or fillers, that is like a prescribed medication given to you in a dose that's technically prescribed from the physician that oversees the office. So like that's where the confusion lies, is like, some people never know their medical director. Some people's medical directors are on site, but
Yeah.
we are following orders.
Yeah.
But as nurses, we are dosing this medication that is really unique. Like not a lot of other medications, like never in a hospital will a nurse set a dose
100%,
ever.
yeah.
Yeah.
But when you come in and you're asking for Botox, we're setting your dose.
Yeah.
Like we're choosing your dose and we're not consulting with our medical director beforehand. Yeah.
And nurses, I think this is where the confusion is too. Nurses can't just pick up and inject anywhere they want. They need a medical director to oversee. Whereas I hear a lot of nurses ask me, they're like, oh, so how did you start? Do you just do it? And I'm
Do
like,
you just
no,
call
you
Botox
can't.
up?
Like you literally can't buy or order Botox or fillers if you don't have a medical director.
Yeah, if you
Right.
don't have an it's technically called an NPI number, which
Yes.
is, I don't even know what that acronym stands for, but that's their ability to order drug
Yeah.
medications.
Yeah.
And I think that, I would love to hear everybody's opinion on this. It's so crazy to me that from state to state, the laws kind of vary. And I really wonder for the future where it's all going to go. Like,
yeah, how it's going to be governed.
are
Yeah.
nurses going to have to become NPs to inject? Like, I want to know, like, how far it's going to go. Or will you not even need to be a nurse to inject? Like, I'm interested in that.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah. It's going to be interesting because one of the things too that I always bring up, like when my patients are asking me about skincare, and like, I know a little bit, but like, you don't learn anything about skin health really in nursing school.
Right.
So when my patients are asking me these in-depth questions, I'm like, dude, you need to go see my esthetician because they're the ones that go to school and learn truly about like pigment and skin texture and tone and all these different things that, like, yes, I have a gist of it, but I know where your blood vessels lie.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I don't
No, like,
Whereas we're learning like what cell is actually making pigment and what ingredient and what product at what percentage is going to help treat that.
Yeah, like that's why I always say, like, find somewhere where it has all those different specialties, because if one person's trying to do it all, they're probably not doing it all well.
Yeah, exactly.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah, you
Same
can't.
idea.
No, no.
And nurses can also do lasers, but Ashley, you have to go to laser school to be laser certified to do laser, correct?
Yeah. So if you're not a nurse, you have to go to another, it's a certificate essentially, but you have to go to schooling to learn about the lasers, how to fix the lasers, how they function, what they do, what their wavelengths, all of these things. But if you're a nurse, at least in Arizona, you guys are technically allowed to fire lasers, which is also wild.
It's wild.
Lasers are full-blown science.
And like what Carly said, like,
Gary, you can burn and actually ruin someone's skin with a laser very easily.
So easy.
And they could walk out of here and look normal, and then a week later, their skin is
like permanently scarred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, like as Carly was saying, I mean, I don't do lasers. Carly, do you do lasers?
I ran like some feminine rejuvenation lasers up at Dr. Malik's office forever ago, but immediately like stepped into the role and said, like, this is not, I don't know enough about this.
Lasers don't click in my mind correctly, so I leave it up to Ashley.
Hand it on over.
Yeah, so you can't be good at everything, you know?
Well, no, like you can't go to school and study history and then walk out and teach English.
Exactly.
Right. Yes, exactly.
But it's so good to know like scope of practice and like who should be doing what, because I mean everything that we're doing in a medical spa has consequences if done wrong, or someone that's unlicensed is doing it. So it is really, really important to know the licensing and all the stuff behind your person.
Be a knowledgeable consumer.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. Please.
Yeah.
I'm begging you.
Like, please,
you don't
please, please.
you don't have to come in and tell me how to do my job, but just ask me to make sure I know how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like looking into that, so like we had talked about in Texas, estheticians can inject, and I have a friend that's a esthetician in Illinois, and they took away her like certificate to be able to dermaplane. Like it's just so different in each place. So really look into, we've said it a million times, who your providers are, what are their credentials.
Yeah, and estheticians that are wanting to get into the field and you want to go open a salon suite down the street and it seems really great, please look into the state laws before you open business, because you could go to jail if you're offering treatments that are not within your state's scope of practice.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is so crazy though, because I've noticed that there's more and more people or business, shall I say, popping up even in Arizona of like illegal, you know, illegal providers providing services that aren't nurses or don't have a medical licensing, and they're injecting.
That's where it comes back in, like, when's the crackdown going to come?
Yeah, and it is so scary because let me tell you, complications from fillers and Botox and Sculptra, they happen, and they happen to the best providers, and I feel like not a lot of clients or patients know about complications.
Yeah.
They don't, and it can literally lead to tissue necrosis. So please find someone that you trust and that knows how to handle complications.
Yeah, because like if we have a complication here, there's 2 nurses, a nurse practitioner, and 2 plastic surgeons. That is consulted on the issue.
Exactly. So
that's the minimum number of people I would want taking care of my issues.
Yeah. Exactly.
Personally.
Yeah. And I just see stories of people going somewhere and getting something done by someone who's unlicensed, and they have a complication, and that person can't help them because they don't know how, and they're sent somewhere else. And I'm like, you don't want to be that person. You don't want to be running around trying to find someone to help you when something is going wrong.
Yeah, when you're already experiencing that.
Yeah.
And that's just scary because if you think of if you went to Walmart and said, give me morphine, you wouldn't let some just random stranger poke you with medication, but you'll just walk into your random corner
the med
of the
spa
street
next to the subway
and get your Botox.
I think it's just med spas are so prevalent now, and it's been just branded so just silly, goofy mood.
Just silly, goofy little girlies.
You know, but it's just good to be educated.
It's good to be educated. It's good to know, like, who does what and, like, who you should be seeing for certain procedures.
Yeah, the power of knowledge.
100%.
It really is. All right.
Okay, and segueing into books.
Yay.
Okay.
I know. Are we all still? Well, we could talk about really quickly what we're reading. Are we all still kind of in a slump? Are we finally reading something we like?
So I woke up this morning and said I'm out of my slump.
Good.
So I'm like halfway through Assassin's Blade, and we'll finish it tonight. And then Jenny's forcing me to read a book.
Okay, I told Carly about it too. Okay, so I am out of my slump because I got up this morning too, and I was like, "What am I doing? Like, I haven't touched my Kindle. I feel so weird." Yeah. And then we're gonna segue into talking about scrolling versus reading. But this is kind of what got me into picking up my Kindle again.
Yeah.
So Sea of Ruin by Pam Goodwin.
Okay, I've heard that author before.
She is a dark romance author. She is great, I will say.
I'll look it up to see what else she's written.
She's great. She's dark romance. Check the trigger warnings because I did before I recommended it to Ashley.
She's like, hey, you need to read this
know
book.
me, not me.
By
I'm like, go read this.
I was like, just to let you know, please check the trigger warnings.
Just a quick heads up.
But it's supposed to be a pirate themed love story on a ship.
What's it called?
In the Sea of Ruin. Sea of Ruins? Sea of Ruins, yeah. So I tried to sell it to Carly today too, and I was like, it's based in the sea.
She said smutty pirates, and I said, heck yeah.
She said, sign me up.
So also,
yo ho.
I literally don't know if you guys all do this too, but every time I start a book, I go on TikTok and I look up the aesthetic of it.
Oh, she is a naughty writer.
Yes.
I've heard of a few of hers, like dark. Yeah.
Wait, Dark Notes. I read that.
Oh, it's spicy.
Yeah, it really is.
Covers.
Yes.
That right there is why I have a Kindle. I can't be walking around with covers like that.
No.
I'm sorry.
I can't.
I'm crying.
She's
like, there's no way that that's sold paperback.
She is a good writer, though. I will say, a lot of her books are 4-star on Goodreads.
Good.
Shocking.
Okay, I'm excited.
So I'm gonna read that. I'm stuck in Car Midnight still, guys. It's not hooking me in.
Really?
I think I need to wait till a better time in my life to start that series. Maybe on the way to Europe.
Yeah, on an airplane.
Yeah.
Sea of Ruin #1. Is there multiple?
I don't know. But I just started reading it. It's very...
It only has 3.95 stars on Goodreads.
I don't know. I
4.5 on Audible.
Interesting.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've heard it's good, but...
Jenny marked it as currently reading. Let me want to read.
Want to read?
We'll have to let you guys know how it is.
Okay, you guys are revived. Let me go through. I think I've read... I read Henry's Funny Story. Did I talk about it with you guys last time? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I read that. So there's like the Elle Kennedy books that came out forever ago. Like The Deal. I actually only got like halfway through that series and I got bored, but her new books just came out and one's called The Graham Effect and one is called The Dixon Rule, and I really liked them both.
I saw the Dixon Rule on my TikTok.
It's really cute.
It is. Okay.
Yeah.
I heard it's cute. I literally just saw
really
this
liked
morning.
it. Yeah.
Before going into Sea of Ruins, I thought about reading the Bridgerton series.
Oh, Bridgerton. You've read?
I read the first one.
You read the first Bridgerton.
Yeah. It was a while ago and I loved it. But I'm
good.
excited. I want to reread it because I want to go back with I didn't know anything about reading. I didn't know what was good. I was like, this is great. I picked it up in an airport. So I wonder if I'm going to like it the same.
I just after watching all of the seasons and the shows, I don't know if I could go back and reread because I'll know the story. And I'm just like...
I will say when I purchased the book, it had the pictures of the actors from the series on the front. So it was like post. I think I had already watched it and I still liked it.
You still liked it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bridgerton, did it come out during COVID, the TV show?
I think so.
So I have like a memory of watching it and like it's pretty clean until you get to like the wedding episode.
Yeah.
The first season is so smutty.
And then Dallas came home one day from work and that episode was on and it was kind of on in the background while I was like doing laundry and he was like, "What are you watching?
Like, what's happening?"
But then the second season wasn't as bad, right?
No, and neither
No.
is this. I don't think this one has been bad.
No.
I've heard she's like full nude in some of it.
Who?
The main girl.
No, I haven't seen that.
Maybe in the second part because they released it. They did
Okay.
4 episodes
Yeah.
now and then 4 in June, I think.
She
So
like
maybe
put a
it's
statement
more.
out that was like, I wanted to do it because I want women that are like, you know, a little more full figured to feel like they can
I'm so
be
excited.
full nude.
Oh my gosh,
I
I'm
love
excited.
her. I didn't think I'd
I
like this
love
season.
her.
I didn't think I'd like this season.
Yeah.
I will be the first to say that. But I binged all 4 episodes in one night. So good.
Yeah.
I am a fan of Francesca.
So do you remember
stunning.
Do you remember the first book being spicy or was it not?
Yeah, it was spicy. And
Oh,
that was the
really?
first time I'd read a spicy book. And I was like,
Took a little
like, is this what y'all are reading? Like, I had the action
what
of
is
like,
happening?
is this what you guys mean by romance books? Like, oh my God.
Like what is happening?
Yeah.
No, the first season is the spiciest. None of the rest are like,
Yeah.
the one with Anthony is a little bit spicy.
Yeah.
I love Anthony.
So every now and then Audible does these sales where
Yeah.
they like do free audiobooks and all the Bridgerton ones were up.
Oh, really?
And this was kind of a while ago, but I downloaded them all on Audible. So I may just like go
Ooh.
through and listen to them because
Yeah.
I'm sure there's like British voices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that.
What am I reading right now? Oh,
So did you like the first season of Bridgerton first or the book?
I don't know. It was a long time ago.
You can't
I feel
pick,
like
yeah.
I can't pick.
Yeah.
I want to go back. I wanted to go back and rewatch all of it before I watched this season, but my best friend was like, "No, they have a little like 2-minute recap.
Yeah.
You'll be fine." So I was
Well,
fine. But
I was confused at first because you know they're not called Bridgerton. Like
Oh,
they're
yeah,
like
yeah.
the Duke and I.
Oh, yeah.
To Sir Philip with love and the Viscount who loved me. So I was like, what is happening?
like,
But then the
what is
pictures are there. So I'm like, okay, that's gonna be it.
yeah,
I know. I feel like I should read them because I love Bridgerton.
Have you ever read like that setting of a romance book?
No.
Okay, so there's a really cute series. I gotta go find the name of it. But
Okay.
I kind of like. Is it called like historical?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Yeah.
Like
Like
historical,
historical, yeah.
romance.
yeah.
They're kind of fun.
That's how
Kinda
I
cute.
feel like. Wait, no, that's not it. Actually, I was gonna say The Things We Leave Unfinished by Rebecca Yarros. I heard is so good, but it's like very historical, like World War II.
Yeah. Well, that was like in the likely event. Did either of you read
I've
that
heard
by
of that,
Rebecca
too. I
Yarros?
haven't read
It's
it, though.
really good,
Yeah.
but it's not historical.
But what are you reading? What else are you
I'm
reading?
almost done with Assassin's Blade. I
Yeah.
want to jump back into the Cowboys. I miss
Yes,
Oh my
long live the
gosh.
Cowboys.
Yeah, I might have to be
Yeah.
like tandem reading
Yeah.
some things because I want to read yours. I want to visit the
Yeah.
Cowboys, and then I got to get into Throne of Glass. Is that my
So
second
much.
book? Is that what I go into
Yeah.
after Assassin's
Yeah.
Blade?
Throne of Glass
Well,
is
not
good.
according to Carly, but
Don't ask me. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay,
yeah,
so I'll
you
do
gotta
that one
Throne of
next.
Glass next.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel like I was in a book slump. You were in a book slump.
Yeah.
And I just realized, like, while I was in my book slump, I was just scrolling on my phone.
Yes.
Here's my advice when you're in a book slump. This is what I've kind of done. When I feel like I have a lot to do in my life, like I'm behind on laundry or I'm
Yeah.
behind
Yeah.
on homework. Download an audiobook.
Yeah.
And just have your
Listen.
AirPods
Yeah.
handy and just like keep listening.
Yeah.
Cuz it's so much better than like and then it keeps you productive.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
That's
how
my favorite part.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
like,
love it.
If I am like, okay, for example, today I needed to like do the laundry, clean the house, I had this huge laundry list of things to do. Couldn't get myself to do them. Pop on my headphones, pop on my audiobook. They're done in an hour.
Productive
Yeah.
queen.
Like, I don't know what it is.
No.
I think it's because I would feel bored sitting there listening to an audio versus
Oh, you can't. No, I
Exactly.
can't
I
just
need
sit
to be
there
doing
and
No.
something. Yeah.
No.
So I do feel like though, do you guys notice this too? Like when you're scrolling at night or whenever on your free time, you feel so much more like bogged down after you're done versus just reading.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Because when I'm scrolling the internet, like there are gonna be negative thoughts that pop in your head.
Yeah.
Oh, I should be doing this for my
Yeah.
kids. Oh, she looks really pretty. I need to lose 5 pounds. Oh, you know, like
Everything. Yep.
everything. It's so like overstimulating. Where a book like moves your brain out.
Yeah.
and you're like in a different world almost.
Yes, for
It's
sure.
so
You
much better
can't
for you.
think about the things that you're stressed about.
Yeah.
I always jokingly say like it's using my brain. When I'm like scrolling, I'm like my brain is off. I'm just
Yeah.
scrolling and I'm intaking all this content that's probably not good for me and
Yeah.
I'm getting
No.
negative thoughts. Whereas when I'm reading, I'm like actively using my brain.
Exactly.
Which it likes that. It likes to be worked out. every
Yeah, like
once in a while.
I feel
For
like your
sure.
brain is still working when you're reading smut.
Even though
It is okay. Also,
Even
like
though the pirates are taking over the mermaids, your brain is still working.
it still requires mental imagery. But I just think that like even like when my kids are like when my husband's watching sports and I just want to be near him, like it's
Reading.
way easier for me to sit and read than it is to sit and scroll.
Yeah, that
yeah.
is so
Yeah, it's like a
true.
healthier pattern.
Yeah,
You know what I
agree.
thought of yesterday too? Cody likes all these like violent movies that I can't stand to watch, and like that's when I'll
That's
disappear.
how I am.
I can read it like no one's business. Like what is that?
I think
Yes,
because
yes,
your
yes.
brain creates the image that isn't as harsh.
Yes.
As like what you're forced to see.
Because
Like-
he's watching Vikings right now,
Yeah.
and it is violent.
Yeah.
But then I'm listening to Assassin's Blade today, and it's like he skewered him with the flick of a wrist,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
I know, like-
folding laundry.
Like
yeah.
I think it exactly what Carly said, because even Game of Thrones, like I never got into it because
Yeah.
I don't know, everything was just too visual.
Yeah.
And then I read Akhtar and Fourth Wing, and I'm fine.
Yeah.
I think our brains like protect us.
Yeah.
Like, and like
That's a
if
good
you're
way to put it.
forced to see an image versus like creating it yourself, you're pulling from memories and like it just doesn't I'm not watching the blood ooze down their bodies.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
into it's cartoon, like where it's just like
Yeah.
and they're good.
Stick figure.
And then their head just
And they're just like
Literally a stick figure. Goodbye. Not Elaine, literally, or who was it? Nesta snapping.
Oh
Was
yeah,
it?
Well, cutting off the King of Hyberns.
King of Hyberns.
Noggin.
Yeah. Just pop it
Or no,
off.
it was the King
No.
of Hyberns snapping Elaine's dad's
Neck.
neck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
My vision was just like, oh, stick figures.
Well, that's it. And so it's kind of that's
Yeah.
why it's like so
Yeah.
much healthier.
Yeah,
I
that's
think.
true.
And there's
That's very
something
true.
I think about a book that I'm like, well, I know they're gonna be fine.
Like
Like,
the happy
She's
ending.
like, he pressed the blade to my neck, and I'm like, but you're fine.
yeah.
You're gonna be okay though.
There's 6 more books written about you. You're fine.
We know you're surviving.
You're gonna make it out of this.
Not worried about you.
Yeah.
Oh
No,
my
I
gosh.
just like I always advise everyone. I'm like I've even kind of got my husband on it where we lay down and instead of just like scrolling social media, like you'll sleep better.
Yeah.
You'll like
Oh yeah. It's
if
so
you're
true.
reading instead.
Yeah, even Harvey came in with the book. He was reading Charlotte's Web. It was
Yeah,
so cute.
he was reading
Cute.
Charlotte's Web, but he's not. He like wants me right next to him.
He's so cute.
Do you remember? I'm like, what age do you just start reading on your own?
I think at like 8.
I want to say high school, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Harvey's 8 and he cannot. I mean, like he can read on his own, but he doesn't want to read on his own.
No.
Yeah. I forget.
I don't
what
either.
age.
I just remember in high school is when I read the Twilight books and Hunger
Oh,
Games.
yes.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
was sitting in dance practice, like reading the Hunger, reading
Wait, do you
Twilight.
guys remember? I'm going to cry. When 50 Shades of Grey.
That was my first experience with smut. And I just remember being like, I'm going to hell. I'm going to hell. I'm going to hell.
Yeah.
I can't read this. I'm going to hell. Like, I just, like, shut it and like,
Guys,
throw it away.
Yeah.
Why did that book pick up so much traction?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh,
there's
yeah.
I'm like, why is
6
it not
movies on
talked about
it.
anymore?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it's just gone with
No,
the
there's
wind.
like 6
And like
movies
the
on them.
movies, and the movies just like, and like they were big actors.
Yeah.
But like,
Oh my
what
gosh.
happened?
Guys, but were Kindles even a thing back then? Because I remember people walking around with this freaking book.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, I know what you're reading. Like,
Yeah.
I judged the shiz out of them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You were like, literally, you're going to hell. I can't believe you're reading that in public.
I went on a beach vacation and it was like every other cabana had 50 Shades of Grey. It was like a sexual awakening, I think, for a lot of
no,
people.
it was. I think it was a sexual awakening era.
I think that was when husbands first figured out that that's what their wives were reading.
Yes.
They were like, hold the F up.
Because like before the romance sections were like tucked back in the bookstores
Yes.
where like no one saw.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden 50 Shades was out in front
Yes.
of the windows.
Like,
but it was like full throttle because like that, it's literally like a very, very.
that was an era.
It
for
was
sure.
an era,
Yeah.
the 50 Shades of Grey era.
I'm trying to think of how old I was. I had to have been in college.
I was in high school.
Yeah.
And I remember this coming out.
No, I
kid
remember.
You're aging me again.
I remember my mom being like, "No, don't even think about it. Don't
Hard
even
no.
look. Don't even get in
Your mom's
within
reading
5
it.
feet of it." My mom's in her room, like, just
She,
kidding.
like, put a book cover over it.
No, but it was like a moment.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was an
That
era.
is so funny. Who wrote it?
E.L. James.
Does she still write? He, she?
Who knows? It's like Stephanie Meyer, Twilight Queen.
Yeah.
She wrote those books. What happened?
She's just living off her
She
visuals.
probably hit off with
Yeah.
that book and was like, I'm done. I'm no more writing smut.
She's actually a member of my same church.
Yeah.
And she actually came and spoke at Girls Camp when I was there once.
Oh my gosh.
Wild,
Hey,
right? I'm
girl.
like,
That's so sick.
up.
That's so funny.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
There are a lot of Twilight jokes in books, though.
There
Like,
are.
have you ever
Yeah,
read?
there are.
Yeah.
Yes.
In,
there
like,
really
romance
are.
books.
I feel like those books ran so we could walk. Literally.
Yeah. Sparkling skin.
Sparkling skin. Oh my gosh, I saw
Renesmee.
so niche, but a TikTok, and this girl had a tattoo on her arm, like very visible on her arm, of like a cartoon version of Edward.
No.
That's his name, right?
Yeah.
Edward.
I didn't read Twilight, but she was like putting highlighter on him to make him sparkle.
No.
And that's when I was like, I'm done scrolling for
I'm
tonight.
dead. I love that.
And we're worried about society.
I was obsessed
like,
with
I gotta
Twilight.
go.
Like, obsession. So
You were
bad.
obsessed?
Really?
You know what I was obsessed with when I was little? Aragon. Do you remember Aragon?
What's that?
You guys don't know about Aragon?
It rings a bell, but like what?
I know the name, but
Yeah.
what is it again?
This clip is going to go viral because you guys don't know what Aragon is.
I have no idea.
Aragon is a book about a dragon. I can't even tell you what it was like truly about, but
Like
it was
the
like Harry Potter
Chronicles of
vibe.
Narnia?
No. I forget about that book too.
I loved that
Loved
book.
that book.
Yeah.
That
Oh
changed
my
my life.
gosh. This is
You know what
brain
books I
Also, the Boxcar
loved?
Children.
A series of unfortunate events.
Yes.
Those
I
were
didn't read
so good.
Lemony Snicket.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I remember watching the
Loved it.
movies and I was like, this sucks.
Yeah.
Compared to the books.
Yeah.
The books were good.
Those, I think that was
Gosh,
the first book I ever
throwback.
liked.
What
as
a
kid.
dose of
I
nostalgia.
know. Like,
know.
holy cow.
I love.
But anyways.
Wow, this was good. I think we need to stop
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah.
After that whole 50 Shades of Grey. That's going to cancel us for sure.
All right, guys. We will be back next week.
We'll talk to you then. Give us a
Like,
follow.
yeah.
Like, rate, review. Share us with friends and family.
Yeah.
Come join our TikTok and Instagram parties.
Yeah.
And have a good week.
We'll talk to you next week.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.